My brother Larry thinks I'm an idiot. He's been telling me that for 14 years, ever since I filed for Social Security at 62. Larry's a retired high school principal. He reads every single financial article that comes across his desk. He waited until 70 to file because that's what the experts say to do. He gets $2,840 a month. I get $1,640. He looks at those two numbers and thinks he won the argument. He didn't. Let me explain. I worked for the city of Dayton, Ohio for 31 years, Parks and Recreation Department. I mowed fields, maintained equipment, painted dugouts, fixed sprinkler systems. I topped out at about $44,000 a year. Not a career that makes anyone jealous, but I liked being outside and I liked the people. I retired in 2012 at 62 because my knees were shot. 2 surgeries already, and the doctor said a third was coming. Standing on a mower for 8 hours in July wasn't going to work much longer. So I filed for Social Security the same month I retired. My full retirement age was 66. That means by filing at 62, I took a 25% permanent reduction in my monthly benefit. If I had waited until 66, I would have gotten about $2,190 a month. Instead, I got $1,640. That is $550 less every single month for the rest of my life. Every financial advisor, every article, every YouTube video will tell you that is a terrible decision. And if you just compare the monthly checks, they are right. But retirement is not a monthly check. It is a math problem with a lot of variables, and most experts only talk about one of them. Now, if you are serious about retiring comfortably without paying some advisor thousands of dollars to tell you what you could learn yourself, I put together something called the Quiet Millionaire Playbook. It covers the retirement accounts most people never hear about, which funds to pick and which ones are quietly eating your money in fees, the Social Security timing decision that most people get wrong, and the real monthly math behind how ordinary people retire with more than they ever expected. The link is below this video. All right, let us keep going. Here's the variable they don't talk about. I had $285,000 in my retirement account when I stopped working. It was in an S&P 500 index fund through the city's 457 plan. If I hadn't filed for Social Security at 62, I would have had to pull from that account to live on for 4 years until I hit 66. At my spending rate, I'd have been pulling about $2,000 a month from it, or $24,000 a year. Over 4 years, that's $96,000 out of my retirement savings before I'd even started collecting Social Security. Instead, I took Social Security at 62 and left the $285,000 completely alone. For 4 years, from 2012 to 2016, I lived on about $1,640 a month from Social Security and a part-time job maintaining a private baseball facility on the east side of Dayton, which paid about $800 a month. Dragged the infields, chalked the lines, kept the mowers running. Combined income was about $2,440. My house was paid off. My truck was paid off. My expenses were about $2,100 a month. It was tight, but it worked. Meanwhile, the $285,000 sat there growing. The S&P 500 returned 16% in 2012, 32% in 2013, 13% in 2014, dipped slightly in 2015, then 12% in 2016. By the end of 2016, my $285,000 had turned into roughly $480,000 without me adding a single dollar. If I had been pulling $24,000 a year out of it during those same 4 years, it would have been closer to $320,000. That's a $160,000 difference. The cost of getting $550 more per month in Social Security was $160,000 in lost growth on my retirement account. Now, Larry will tell you about the break-even point. That's the age where the person who waited to file catches up to the person who filed early. If you file at 62 and get $1,640, and your brother files at 70 and gets $2,840, the break-even point is somewhere around age 79 or 80. After that age, Larry's bigger check starts adding up to more total dollars than my smaller check over a longer period. That math is correct, but it only works if you pretend the retirement account doesn't exist. It only works if the only money in the equation is the Social Security check. Nobody lives like that. The real math is this. From age 62 to 76, I collected $275,520 in Social Security at $1,640 a month. Larry, who filed at 70, collected $204,480 at $2,840 a month over 6 years. I'm ahead by $71,040 in Social Security alone, and my retirement account is ahead by roughly $160,000 because I didn't drain it during those early years. The total gap is over $230,000 in my favor. Larry's bigger monthly check won't close that gap until we're both well into our mid-80s, and that's only if the market goes flat from here, which it won't. There's another thing the experts don't factor in that matters more than any spreadsheet. My father died at 74. His brother died at 71. My mother made it to 83, but she had diabetes and heart issues from her mid-60s on. I'm not being dramatic about this. I'm being realistic. My knees are artificial. I had a stent put in 3 years ago. My doctor tells me I'm doing fine, and I believe him, but I'm also not planning my finances around living to 95. If I die at 80, I will have collected $354,000 in Social Security over 18 years. If Larry dies at 80, he'll have collected $340,800 over 10 years. I come out ahead, and I got to spend that money during the years when I could actually enjoy it. That's the part nobody talks about. The quality of the years matters. From 62 to 70, I was younger, healthier, and more mobile than I am now. I went fishing whenever I wanted, Tuesdays and Thursdays at Eastwood Lake, just sitting there with a cooler and a lawn chair while everybody else was at work. I drove down to Kentucky with my buddy Hank twice a year to watch the Reds play spring training. We'd eat bad nachos and argue about whether anyone could ever replace Johnny Bench. I helped my daughter move into her first house. I carried boxes up the stairs with my own hands because my knees still worked well enough for that. I spent whole afternoons with my grandkids, picking them up from school, taking them for ice cream, being there for the stuff that only happens once. If I'd been working until 66 or 70 just to get a bigger check, I would have missed those years. You can't get years back. You can always find a way to get by on a smaller check. My monthly situation right now looks like this. Social Security gives me $1,640, plus cost of living adjustments over the years have bumped it up to about $1,920 in actual dollars. I pull about $1,800 from my retirement account, which is currently at around $520,000. My total monthly income is roughly $3,720. My expenses are about $2,400. The house is paid off. I drive a 2014 Silverado. Insurance is cheap because I barely drive anymore. Groceries, utilities, property tax, medication. That's pretty much the list. I don't feel poor. I don't feel like I made a mistake. I feel like I made a decision that matched my actual life instead of some hypothetical life where I live to 95, and all that matters is getting the biggest possible monthly check. Larry and I argue about this at every family gathering. He's got his spreadsheet. I've got mine. His shows the monthly check is bigger. Mine shows the total picture. But here's what I notice. Larry waited until 70 to file. He worked until 68 as a principal and then did 2 years of consulting work he didn't enjoy. He told me once, quietly, at a 4th of July cookout, that he wished he'd stopped working sooner. He said those last 2 years weren't worth it. I didn't say anything, just handed him a beer. I want to be clear about something. I'm not saying everyone should file at 62. If you're healthy, if you've got longevity in your family, if you're still working and earning good money, waiting might be the right call. The 8% per year increase you get for delaying past full retirement age is a guaranteed return that's hard to beat. And if you're married and you're the higher earner, waiting can protect your spouse with a bigger survivor benefit after you're gone. That matters. I was already divorced when I retired, so that calculation didn't apply to me. But I am saying that the blanket advice to always wait is lazy. It treats every person like they're the same. It ignores what's in your retirement accounts. It ignores your health. It ignores what your life actually looks like at 62 versus 70. And it ignores something that doesn't show up on any calculator, which is that the years between 62 and 70 are worth something. They might be worth more than an extra $550 a month. Larry's got his spreadsheet. I've got my grandkids' faces in every photo from the last 14 years. I know exactly which one I'd rather have.